In one of Kampala's more youthful neighbourhoods sits Firebase House, a recording studio famous for not only producing Bobi Wine's protest music, but also inspiring the now popular opposition MP to join parliament. His right-hand man and musical partner Nubian Lee sees his friend's current tribulations as a moment of history for Uganda.
Before, the youth did not care so much about the governance of their country. They didn't look into the politics. But ever since Bobi went into parliament, all the youth have gotten interest.
The rise of this man, Bobi Wine, who's been in parliament for a little over a year now, has been termed a turning point for politics here. That the public's reaction to his arrest and military detention signals the possible rise of a different political movement in Uganda. One led by the country's youth, who in the past have been viewed as passive participants in politics.
If you look at Kenya, like Jaguar, people like Sonko, represents some kind of a new wave whereby young people want to have their voices heard, and they think that people who are like them or people within the age bracket can play that role better than the typical old politicians.
This argument could hold water if one considered the scenes outside Kampala's main cathedral during Wednesday's prayers held in Bobi Wine's honor.
For us young generations, we do fear to produce because they are going to produce our people, our children. They will die for nothing.
How can you say that you are charging 200 shillings on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, which you don't own? Do you pay Zuckerberg? Is it Mark Zuckerberg? Do you pay him? You don't. Why do you charge us that tax, We are tired.
There must be a revolution. Transfer of power from those who have captured it back to people does not happen because you throw a piece of paper in a box.
This is not revolution. This is not revolution. This is just what we are saying is just an effect of violence.
While talks of an uprising fill the air, others say the revolution claims are far-fetched and see the current climate as simple growing pains for the East African country.
The Constitution has put in place mechanisms of transfer of power. And given our turbulent history, we are very particular about following those provisions set by the Constitution. So I don't think we've reached a level of usurping power in the name of a popular uprising.
But Bobi Wine is seen not just as a threat to President Yoweri Museveni, but also to Dr. Kizza Besigye, a man who has frontlined the opposition for the last decade, but whose light appears to have been dimmed by Museveni's harsh political tactics.
Many of them have tried to fight the government in power, but they have not gathered that courage that people can feel the vibe. And this young man has brought it all.
Besigye was a soldier. He was a comrade, a fellow comrade of the president. So maybe they have their issues.
And some people misconstrue it as if it's a contestation for power. There is no contestation for power. There is a contestation for sovereignty.
Yeah, it's very unusual for a president to write 4 statements within 7 days. The fact that he has written 4 since Bobi Wine was arrested 2 weeks, almost a week ago, it's an indication of panic, of course.
Back on the streets of Kampala, life for the ordinary man continues. Many of them shy away from giving their political views on TV, but those willing to speak to us say the country is facing challenges that even President Museveni cannot wish away.
We cannot express. I fear to tell you what is in my heart, because now if that can happen when a honorable, what about a mere peasant like me?
While Bobi Wine's wars with the government continues, how opposition plays out this moment, how President Yoweri Museveni responds, and what becomes of this new youthful wave of political protests remains to be seen. Ashamwilu on special assignment in Kampala.